Hi everyone, I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney. I am located right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients, however, are all throughout the United States. And if you're wondering how that is, how is that even possible to be located in one place but have clients everywhere? So normally for lawyers, if they're not practicing immigration, you kind of have to have a lawyer that's been admitted in your state. This is probably more than you want to know. But for immigration, your lawyer can be located anywhere in the US, and that's because immigration is considered a federal practice. So that means that we can help clients no matter where they are located. So we are located, as I mentioned, we're located right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia, but our clients are spread out all throughout the US. And we help with only immigration. We don't do anything other than immigration. We only do immigration. And the way we make that happen is we work on, for example, we use Zoom to do our initial consultations. We do use Zoom for our client meetings. We do things by phone. We have an online case management system. So that means that everything that we need from you, you can upload on there, or some clients are more comfortable emailing or mailing it to us. We put everything on our system. We give you a login and a password, and we share everything with you that we send out. Everything that comes in from the government is all accessible to you whenever you want. So it really makes it smooth and easy to work with us if you'd like to work with us. So again, I mentioned that my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. We are located right outside of Washington, D.C., but we help clients all throughout the U.S. We practice in terms of immigration and the kind of immigration we practice. We really do everything. We run the gamut with immigration. I think we might be one of the only firms that does so many different types. So we have EB-5 cases where we represent clients that are investing in the U.S. economy. So we represent them and they are eligible for a green card. We represent victims of abuse in humanitarian cases. So people that are married to U.S. citizens or green card holders, we represent them and help them get a work permit and a green card. We help students apply for OPT, answer their questions on that. H-1B, we represent companies and sponsoring green cards. We literally run the gamut with all types of immigration. So we can help you if you would like to work with us. Again, my name is Pratibha Agarwal, and I am based outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia, and we can help you no matter where you're located. So if you have a question or if you want to just figure out what your immigration options are, I would love to work with you. Call our office to reach us. You can call us at 703-348-1663. I see I forgot my banner on Facebook, so I'm fixing that. So today we're streaming on both Facebook and on TikTok. So feel free to pop your question in here, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. Hi, Sunny. Nice to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you. Hi, Rohit in New York. Hi, Rahul. Hi, Savitri. Hi, Reddy. Hi, Jaggi. You can put your question in and I will answer it for you. And this is, obviously nothing here can be privileged or confidential because there are other people watching on both Facebook and on TikTok. But I will, answer the best as I can. I'm going to come up with some questions that my clients typically ask us, and I want you to get the answer to that, and maybe that will be helpful to you. And if you'd like to move forward with it, sorry, okay, sorry. Hi. If you would like to move forward with a case tip, if you just want to find out more, you can definitely do that with us. But one question that we get a lot is for people who have an asylum application pending. So if you or someone has an asylum application pending, they ask us, often, like sometimes they have prosecutorial discretion, which means the government decided that they didn't want to move forward with their asylum case. And so they pretty much kind of closed it out, and they can live here permanently and they can have a work permit, right? So many people in the situation have contacted us. They have what's called prosecutorial discretion. So basically, their asylum case, they've made an asylum case in immigration court, and the government has said, we don't want to pursue it, we don't want a decision on it. So they still get to stay in the US, and they get a work permit, which is really great. However, you can't really leave the US. You can't go back to your home country because you don't have authorization to leave the US, right? So people in this situation, so people with an asylum pending or people with what's called prosecutorial discretion, sometimes they end up marrying a US citizen or a green card holder. Right? So this is a common situation. So if you have an asylum application pending and you're married to a US citizen or a green card holder, what can I do? What can I do often becomes the question. You do have options. You might have some options available to you. So you could probably apply, not probably, I shouldn't say that. We have to determine whether or not you're eligible to apply, but many people qualify to apply for a green card right here in the US. So they don't need to leave. You can leave your asylum application pending, and if you're married to a US citizen or a green card holder, you might be eligible to apply for a green card right here in the US. What this would mean is you would have a work permit in about 6 to 8 months that's separate from your asylum application or separate from your prosecutorial discretion case. You would have travel authorization also. I would say, if you have something pending like asylum, we would wait. We would likely not advise you to travel at that point, but you would get a work permit in about 6 to 8 months, and you would have travel authorization in about that same time frame. And eventually, in about 2 to 2.5 years, you would get a green card if you're married to a US citizen or a green card holder. Okay, and at this point, many people that are seeking asylum don't have a legal entry, right? So can you adjust your status? Can you apply for a green card without a legal entry, without coming in legally, right? Either you crossed the border without papers, or you came in maybe using someone else's passport or visa stamp. Can you still get a green card in the US? So there are some people who are eligible to get a green card in the US, even if they had an illegal entry. So if that is you, you should certainly call our office to see if you might be eligible to apply for a green card. We can schedule a consultation for you, and we can go through the requirements. But essentially, if you are eligible, even if you had an illegal entry. So again, this is, many people with asylum applications pending, they did not have a legal entry in the US, okay? So if you've had an illegal entry, you may still be eligible to apply for and receive a green card without having to leave the US. So again, that's once we apply, you would have a work permit 6 to 8 months, and you would have a green card in 2 to 2.5 years. The caveat is you have to be married to a US citizen or a green card holder, or you have to have a US citizen child 21 or over. So if you or someone you know is in the situation, they may be eligible to get some immigration benefits. I would suggest call us for a consultation. We're at 703-348-1663. All right, we have so many people joining here. Okay, hi Mike, hi Naritra, hi Shazi, hi Ahmad, hi Ian, hi Bibi, hi Joe, hi Romy, hi Seepak. Bibi says, I was aged out on my parents' sponsors. What is my best option? So it depends. For example, if you're aged out, I would suggest, I don't know what kind of application, maybe your parents were sponsored by someone else, and then you were the minor under 21. And then by the time a visa became available, you aged out. So this happens a lot. Unfortunately. So, Bibi, I would suggest maybe give us a call, because you might be able to recapture some time. So you might think you've aged out, but there is what's called the Child Status Protection Act. So that means that a certain amount of time can be deducted from your current age. So you could kind of be set back. So let's say you're 21, but your application may have been pending for a certain amount of time. A certain amount of time can be deducted from your current age. So maybe you might be eligible for that. So that might be something to think about. So you might not know that you're eligible. So that's something to think about. Or, let's say you have aged out, you've already confirmed it, and you have aged out. So what you could do then is you could maybe apply for a student visa, right? That might be problematic. However, if you have your parents living in the US, if you applied for a student visa, you still have to show the government that you're going to leave, that you don't intend to live permanently in the US, right? So then the other option is maybe getting a work visa. And let's say your family has a store I'm just giving an example here. Let's say your family has a store in maybe India, and they can open up a business here in the US. You can manage that store in India, and maybe we can do an intercompany transfer of you from India to the US. So it doesn't matter if your parents live in the US, because you can have an intention to either live permanently in the US or to return to India, right? So there are different ways, different options that might work for you. And you have to be creative. And, our firm, the benefit here is that we do a lot of family-based applications. So let's say your parents aged out, or your parents got applied for you, and you aged out, right? So we are familiar with the family-based immigration implications. But since we also work with business immigration clients, we can advise you sort of in this other way as well. We can be creative with the types, with the visas, the applications, the benefits that are available to you. So it depends on the person, really. It depends on your circumstances. So maybe if you want to call us for a consultation, we would love to help you. Our office is actually open right now. I usually do these lives at night, and our office is closed, but right now our office is open. You can reach us for a consultation. We're at 703-348-1663. Say hi to Brian if you happen to call us. So Brian can help you schedule a consultation. Okay. Would love to hear from you, Bibi, and maybe we can find a way that might work for you. But we could try a student visa. You might have some business immigration options available to you as well. Call us 703-348-1663. All right, Patrick. Hi. Goodness. Okay. Hi, Bunty. Romy says, I'm 2 years in the US, and I have no paper. So what can I do? So Romy, and Romy says his case is denied. So I'm not sure what case you have. So maybe there are some options for appeal, right? Maybe something was not done properly. Maybe we can reapply. I don't know what your case is. But let's say you're 2 years in the US and you're out of status. You don't have any immigration status here. If you are married to a US citizen or a green card holder, I don't know if you are, Romy, but many of our clients are here without status, and they're either married to a US citizen or a green card holder. So even if you're here without status, so let's say you entered illegally, or let's say you entered here, with like a tourist visa or a student visa, and you ended up overstaying, but now you're married to a green card holder. I'm just giving an example, right? You might still be eligible to apply for a green card, right? So sometimes, some people will let you know that if you're married to a green card holder, you actually have to be in status to have your spouse sponsor you. So that's the general rule, and that is right in most circumstances. But some people, depending on the status of their marriage, may be eligible to apply for a green card on their own, even if they're married to a green card holder and out of status, or if they had an illegal entry. So it depends on the state of their marriage, and we have to see if you're eligible for this method. So if you are eligible, you would get a work permit in about 6 to 8 months. You would get a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. So that is a huge, huge benefit that many people don't know about. So if you or someone you know is in this situation, if you're out of status, if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or if you have a U.S. citizen child at 21 or over, you might be eligible to apply for a green card on your own. Okay, even if you're out of status. So that's important to note. Call us to schedule a consultation if you think you might be eligible. If you want to just find out what your immigration options are, give us a call. We are at 703-348-1663. So Romy, I don't know what your case is, so I'm going to, I hope that you give us a call and let's see what your options are. That's exactly what a consultation is. So many people don't even know. They call us, they don't even know how to proceed. Right, so we do a consultation. So our consultations are done if you're confused. Are you confused about how to proceed with your case? Right. So you might be out of status. You might have entered illegally. You don't know what options you have. So the consultation is really a good option for you to do, just to get some knowledge, get some advice on what might be available for you. So you may be eligible for work permit. You may be eligible for a temporary visa. We might be able to work with you to kind of get you back in status. So call us because we do really run the gamut in terms of the types of cases we handle. We go all the way from family-based to individuals, to humanitarian cases, to even business immigration. So If we can help you, certainly call us. Say hi to Brian if you call today. We're at 703-348-1663. All right. SIPA says, I have an asylum pending for 5 years. Asylum, if you applied before 2018, guys, if you applied before 2018, it will be pending for a long time. Okay, so the newer cases are actually moving faster. So if you've applied for asylum before 2018, call us. But let's say you applied for asylum 5 years ago and you might have other benefits available to you now because you've had asylum pending for 5 years. Maybe you're married now. Maybe your children are U.S. citizens. Maybe they're older. So there might be, or maybe you even have stepkids. Maybe you married someone with a 21 or over U.S. citizen child, right? You might be eligible to receive a green card and you don't even know. You have your asylum case pending and you don't even know. So if you or someone you know is married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or if they have a U.S. citizen child, 21 or over, it's really important that they figure out what their benefits are, what they might be eligible for. So a consultation is really best in this situation. So if you want to call us, give us a call. And if you have asylum pending, we have many of our clients fit this profile. If they have an asylum pending, you can call us for a consultation, especially if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or have a child, 21 or over, who's a U.S. citizen. This could be a stepchild, okay? This could be a stepchild. You can reach us for a consultation at, at 703-348-1663. All right. I see my buddy Kathleen is watching. Hi, Kathleen. Nice to see you. I hope you're still watching. If you are, say hi. Let's see. Patrick says, how are you? Patrick, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Okay. So BB said I had a student visa and I came back before I was sponsored. BB, you have a complicated situation, so give us a call. You said your grandparents sponsored your mom. Yeah. Okay. So your grandparents sponsored your mom. Maybe as soon as your mom becomes a U.S. citizen, she can certainly sponsor you. Or even a green, your mom could sponsor you if your mom already has a green card. So if your parents are a green card holder, this might be against our culture here for many of you. Don't get married because you can't sponsor married children when you are a green card holder. So don't get married. You can sponsor your spouse and your kids, no matter how old they are. There might be a wait time, but do not get married if you're trying to get sponsored by a green card holder. Okay? If your parents become a U.S. citizen, however, you can get married. It's okay. All right. Hi, Swati. Someone is asking, hello, I've received a second time extension letter in a VAWA case. Processing time is already over. So this is, I'm guessing, your deferred action. Your deferred action. So you received deferred action in your VAWA case, and now it's already over. So remember, you might be eligible for a green card. So in a VAWA case, if you're a victim of abuse, so this is people who are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. Excuse me, I don't have my water here. I can't even drink it. If you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or you have a child 21 or over who's a U.S. citizen, and you are the victim of abuse, you qualify for what's called VAWA. Okay, and this means that you can apply for a green card as a victim of abuse. And again, abuse can come in many different forms. We're looking at psychological abuse, verbal abuse, in addition to physical abuse if it's there, but many clients don't have physical abuse. So, you might still qualify. So essentially what you're looking for is you have a U.S. citizen or a green card holder spouse or a child who is 21 or over and a U.S. citizen. Okay, so in that process, what happens is you get what's called deferred action. So at some point, the government will approve your case, and you get permission to live here forever, right? But even before that happens, you get what's called a pre-approval letter, and that lets you live here, be here permanently. And you get that usually within 2 or 3 months after you apply. That lets you live here permanently while your application is pending, while the government is reviewing your application. So, excuse me. So maybe this person here is trying to say that they've had to have that extended because they haven't gotten permanent deferred action, right? So the processing time is over. So you can always call your lawyer. I hope you used a lawyer. Call your lawyer to see if they can get it extended once more. But again, if it's been pending a really, really long time, what we like to do is, and this is not a popular, people get nervous when I say this, you can sue the government, right? You can sue the government to make a decision on your case. At this point, what you're saying is, I paid my fee that I'm supposed to pay. VAWA doesn't have a fee, but if you applied for your green card, that has a fee. So you paid your fee. You're supposed to, government agency, make a decision in a reasonable time frame. That is by law. Every government agency has to make decisions in a reasonable time frame. And we all know, the people watching here and me, I work with immigration cases every single day. We know that those cases sit for a really long time. We had someone tell me that their asylum application is sitting for 5 years, right? You can force a decision. You can force a decision by the government, and you can do that by suing the government, right? So we help clients with that as well. So if it's been sitting for that long, I don't know if you want to take that route, that it doesn't negatively impact your case. If your case is strong, it's still going to be strong. It doesn't negatively impact your case, but we do represent clients in suing the government. So if you think we can help you with that, if you want to find out more about that, give us a call. We're at 703-348-1663. All right, I've got to jump off, you guys. I see some other questions here. Let's see. Yeah, so again, I have a couple questions about things taking a really, really long time. So again, same thing. My answer is you can sue the government. But I love that all of you joined me here today. If you don't already like our page on Facebook, go ahead and like our page on Facebook, and you will be notified every time I'm live, which kind of changes. I wish I could, commit to the same time every day. It's just, our days are always changing. We're very busy here. So I hop on whenever I can to answer your questions. But if you like our page on Facebook, you'll be able to see every time I pop on live. Same thing with TikTok. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we're at Agarwal Immigration on both platforms. But it's been great to see you all today. If you want to join me for a consultation, we do them by phone or by Zoom. And in limited cases, we do them in person for people that are located here. But if you want to join me for a consultation, call our office, say hi to Brian, and our phone number is 703-348-1663. All right, thanks everyone. I will see you soon. Bye.